when their guy plays some games.
Alright, hi y'all, Weather Guy here. We're back with more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are about to hear the full confession from Judge Jigoku in our final case. This may be about the end of the game today. I don't know how much we got left. It feels like there's still more mystery to uncover, but we'll see. Things didn't go according to plan. Your chosen assassin never made it to Britain, and you found yourself unable to dispatch a replacement. Because I was already on my way to Britain at that time in Kazuma's place. And that left me with only one option for carrying out my obligation. Yeah, someone from Britain coerced him into doing it, basically, so we have to figure out who that is, which I think is Lord Strongheart. To eliminate the mark myself. Personally. Of course, there was but a single opportunity for me to do that. The International Forensic Science Symposium, I presume. That's right. I decided it would be safest to carry out the plan before my arrival in Britain, so I enlisted the help of my British counterpart, and made arrangements for a pretext that would take the inspector to Dunkirk. Ah, that's why the inspector was assigned to Dunkirk, maybe. To lure the man in, he was given a sham mission by the Reaper. Aha. Well, what? The Reaper? But there's only one person who could have done that. The mastermind of the entire operation. The Reaper himself. Ah. So, that means that the assassin exchange was all planned by the Reaper. I'm not at liberty to say anything about my British counterpart. Anyway, the inspector accepted the Reaper's mission and dutifully infiltrated my cabin on the steamship. But it was all a trap designed to lead him to France and his own death. Oh, how awful! It was past 9 o'clock when I returned to my cabin from the dining hall that evening. I didn't give him time to attack me. I choked him until he lost consciousness. But there was a guard just outside the door, so I left it at that for the time being. Even the slightest noise might have aroused suspicion. I bided my time waiting. For the 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. I had intended to finish him by strangulation, but moments before I had the chance, he suddenly came around and went for me in a reckless move. I'd received the British issue gun 16 years earlier, being a member of the judiciary as a visiting student. I never imagined I'd have to use it for something like that. So the revolver belongs to you, does it? Then the victim was killed inside your cabin on the SS Grouse, which begs the question of why you arranged for his body to be discovered in the room on Fresno Street. The young judicial assistant over there has already answered that question. There was no way I could take the body up on deck to throw it over the side. That's precisely where all the crewmen were gathered for the evacuation drill. So before the first-class cabin sentries returned, I took the corpse to the refrigeration room, and then on arriving in Dover, you concealed the body in your trunk in order to smuggle it past the border police. I knew I needed to take steps if the police were to be convinced when the body was found in London. In that case, you must have known. You must have had intimate details of Inspector Gregson's intended schedule. Yes, my British counterpart sent me everything I needed to know. The inspector was due at Fresno Street at 5 o'clock that afternoon, in order to meet a man by the name of Hugh Boone, from whom he would take back his police identification. I decided that man would be the perfect person to set up as the culprit. So I took a hackney carriage over there with the body still in my trunk. That must have been just after we took this photograph with you at the hotel then. Chilling. Yes, I wasn't expecting a welcoming committee. I was more than a little nervous. On Fresno Street, I spotted a young girl selling little firecrackers. Miss Venus, of course. I conceived of the candle trick there and then. So I donned a simple disguise and approached the girl to buy enough firecrackers to replicate a gunshot. What sort of disguise? For some reason, the inspector had a bright red hairpiece in his own traveling case, so I put that on, although I suspect I drew more attention to myself than I would have thought otherwise. Hairpiece we found at the scene. The inspector had it ready for the Red-Hatted League investigation. I only arrived at the room at around 4:45, so I quickly placed the body on the floor, moved the notice board, and set up my little candle trick. I arranged it so the firecrackers would go off with a bang around 15 minutes later, so that Mr. Boone, who was due to arrive at 5, would walk straight into a trap? Except, at the last moment, I made a careless blunder. What was that? I imagine it was the bag of fish and chips. I didn't notice that it had fallen out of his overcoat pocket when I moved the body to the refrigeration room. I put it back into his pocket the following morning, but... well, it seems the warmth of the heated cabin had accelerated the decay of the fish. Anyway, that's everything, all the sordid details of what I did. We still need to know who the British counterpart was, and why Jigoku felt so compelled to do this, right? Like, it sounds like the British side had all the power, which makes me think that the British side knows something that happened in the case 10 years ago and they're holding it over his head. I've heard enough. We've arrived at the truth about the murder of one of the country's most capable and respected police inspectors. The witness will be tried in the coming days. For a crime of such a vile nature, you can expect the most severe penalty. Come on. Let's get Strongheart too, let's get him. An exchange of assassins, what a foolhardy idea. Mr. Jigoku, one last detail. Who was your counterpart in Britain? Who was the mastermind behind the assassin exchange? He's not going to tell us. Nothing you say now can make matters any worse for you. Just tell us. Enough! He's hiding it. Tell us, please. I've already told you that I cannot say. Even though, as things stand, you may very well never set foot in your homeland again? What are you waiting for? Can't we get this over with now? It's finished, all of it. I'm finished. Fuck this guy. It's definitely him. Then, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I now pronounce the findings of this court. This man before us has admitted to the willful murder of Tobias Gregson. Oh my goodness. Shishiro Jigoku, it is the opinion of this court that you should be found. Well, he still has to get his own trial. And may I remind all those present of the strict confidentiality demanded by this court. Closed court. That can't be the end. This is the last trial, there must be more. Ryu's gonna stand up for it. Moments ago, Mr. Jigoku signed a written confession, admitting to the murder of Inspector Gregson and the subsequent conveyance of the body. In short, the defendant's innocence has therefore been established beyond doubt. Oh, wonderful! Well done, Mr. Ryu! Yes, thank you. Is something wrong? I'm just a little troubled by his silence. The true identity of the Reaper of the Bailey and this extraordinary assassin exchange, we do remain in the dark about these mysteries. However, insofar as the indictment brought against the defendant in this trial, we have reached a conclusion. I have every intention of pursuing both mysteries. As a prosecutor, I said that totally fucked up. As you wish. Now, for the formal adjudication. I hereby declare the defendant, Barack Van Zieks.
Objection!
Here we go. Kazuma. The prosecution calls for adjudication to be deferred. Counsel. The accuser's innocence hasn't been fully established at all, and therefore it would be wrong to deliver a verdict at this time. That is the prosecution's unwavering position. He wants to find out the truth like we do about who the British side is. What? But Judge Jigoku has already confessed. Nevertheless, Barak Van Zieks has committed crimes for which he must be punished. Well, it would appear you have information that the court needs to hear, Prosecutor Sogi. Certainly, the murder of Inspector Rexon was actually carried out by Shishiro Jigoku. But it's clear from the witness's testimony that he was coerced into complying with the plot, into the sick, merciless assassin exchange. That may be true, but... So what I want to know is who coerced Jigoku? Who was pulling the strings? The victim went to France having been ordered on a mission for the Reaper only to be murdered. In other words, the mastermind behind the assassin exchange is someone in a position to give such an order. As we've already established, the Reaper himself. Well, certainly, that would appear to follow. The prosecution hereby formally accuses the man in the dock, Barak Van Zieks, of being the Reaper of the Bailey, and furthermore, I'm going to prove his guilt beyond all reasonable doubt. What? No, it's not, Kazuma. I think you're fibbing, Kazuma. I think you know it's Strongheart. You have to see it. Order, order, order. The Reaper of the Bailey is a long-standing mystery, Counsel. Oh, hang on, my wife just texted me RIP. The RIP was just about the oil change place taking an hour and a half. Are you suggesting you have some new information with which to build a case? Scotland Yard has already investigated Lord Van Zieks very thoroughly in that regard, and they found no evidence whatsoever to substantiate the claim that he is the Reaper. Perhaps, but circumstances have now changed. What do you mean? It's already been established that the assassin exchange was negotiated with Jigoku by the Reaper himself, which means we now have a new line of questioning by which to identify definitively the man's identity. That is the prosecution's intention here. I must say I'm surprised by quite how tenaciously you appear to want to besmirch my name. You are guilty of an unforgivable crime, Lord Van Zieks. And I will bring you to justice for it, whatever it takes. That explains Kazuma's silence before. He'll stop at nothing to finish what Lord Van Zieks unwittingly started 10 years ago. Very well. Whilst it's extremely irregular, I will on this occasion grant the prosecution further opportunity for witness testimony. The defendant will disclose any and all involvement he has had with the Reaper and the assassin exchange. I thank you, my lord, regarding the court so wisely. I hereby declare this court to be in session for a supplementary hearing. Boom, relighting it up, baby. Boom, foot. Pray turn a blind eye to the discourtesy as I verify that this vile and unremitting accusation hasn't soured the contents of my hallowed chalice. Lord Van Zieks, back in form. I first had to suffer the pseudonym of the Reaper 10 years ago now, and ever since that time I've endured the weight of implied guilt that's gone with it. So I welcome the chance to testify now and crush those allegations once and for all. Good. Then I let justice aside, Lord Van Zieks. Prosecution seeks to begin building its case by calling the accused to the stand as a primary witness in order that he may answer the accusation brought by the prosecution that he is the Reaper of the Bailey. And what says the defense? Putting the defendant in the witness stand can be extremely dangerous. Kazuma is so emotional at the moment, He's not thinking logically. You're right that he's not himself. But I knew it would be like this. I came here today determined to face him through whatever might arise. As a lawyer and as his friend. Then that's what we must do. The defense has no objection, my lord. Very well. Defendant, you will take the witness stand and give formal testimony on the subject of your involvement with the Reaper and the assassin exchange. As you wish, my lord. Oh man, we're gonna stop here. Short day today, but that's okay. Next time we're gonna go into his testimony about why he's the Reaper of the Bailey, or why he is not, rather. And we're gonna see how that goes. But that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for taking care of yourselves. Take care of others too. I'll see you next time. Peace out.